What does an HOA do? Well, first of all, let's talk about what an HOA actually is and what it stands for, because I'll tell you what, when I moved back down here to Naples 11 years ago, I didn't even know what HOA meant. HOA is a Homeowners Association. And before we get too far into this video, do me a quick favor, hit the like and subscribe button below. Just a quick click for me. It really helps me out a lot, so I'd appreciate that. Homeowners Associations is basically a governing body that watches over a community. The HOA is typically voted on by the residents in the community. You pick who you want to be on the board. Or you have a company who manages the association. We have professional management companies here in Southwest Florida, and they are actually the management company that watches over your community. Now, HOAs have typically rules, and a lot of HOAs have a lot of rules that sometimes can get under people's skin. I'll tell you one, for instance, that I can think of right off the top of my head. When we moved down here to Naples, my daughter at that time, she was born here in Naples, but as she grew up, the community we lived in, they did not allow for her to use chalk on the sidewalk or in our backyard on our pavers. They also did not allow for her to hang birdhouses in the trees. So they had a lot of rules. Now, did it help the aesthetics of the community without my 3-4-year-old drawing chalk on the sidewalk? Probably a little bit, but in the same breath, it was pretty tight standards. Another one that really irritated me there, they wanted us to have our trash can pulled in every night, the day of trash, by 6 p.m. They did not want our trash can to still be by the road empty after the trash guy picked it up the following day. They wanted that pulled back in. And if we didn't, they enjoy taking pictures and sending us a letter in the mail, letting us know that they are watching us. And if we do not take care of the action, they will fine us, usually around $100 a day. Kind of crazy, but it's what they do. Now, does that help the value in the neighborhood? It does in a sense, because if they didn't have these rules, you've seen communities and areas where people park 12 cars in the front yard, where they're having parties till wee hours of the night, where they paint their homes 12 different colors. You've seen that. HOAs help run the community so that does not happen. What does an HOA cost? Well, in our community that we live in right now, it runs around $300 a month. We pay that quarterly to our HOA. So every 3 months, we would pay $900-ish towards our association. And basically what that covers is everything on the outside of the house, our landscaping, our tree trimming, things like that. Our HOA manages and takes care of all that for us so that I do not have to own a weed eater, a lawnmower, a blower, any of that stuff. The association has a contract with a local landscaping company, and they manage all of that. Another thing that a big expense for our community is we have a town center. Now, this town center has a gym inside of it to go work out in. Don't use it too much, but it's there. And then we also have a community pool, and we also have a area where you can have parties. It's got a kitchen, it's got a dining area, it's got couches. It's a nice indoor place that you can actually reserve and use. Our community also has tennis courts, and it also has a basketball court. A lot of communities here in Southwest Florida now have pickleball courts and other amenities like that. And that is what your HOA dues go toward, is maintaining those type of things. The third thing I'll talk about, why I pay an HOA and what that money goes towards, and that is typically some type of internet or cable bill. Now, in our community, our HOA cost does cover our basic cable services through Comcast Xfinity, and it also gives us high-speed internet service. So I do not have a second bill that I have to pay those folks unless I want some type of premium channels. Then I would add that to my account, but it's already part of our current HOA dues. Do I really need to follow the HOA rules? Well, as I mentioned earlier, if you don't want a fine and you don't want the HOA breathing down your neck with painstaking emails, phone calls, and letters, then yes, you should obey your rules. Now, whenever I go to sell a house, I always have to give the potential buyer an HOA application, which they turn in to the association before we can close on the home. And that HOA application typically will state that they have read the rules and regulations of the community along with the financials, so they know what their money is going towards, so that when they get into that home, they cannot say, well, I wasn't aware that I had to pull my trash can inside every night by 5 p.m. That way, it helps maintain the integrity of the community. So is an HOA a good investment if you're buying in those communities? Well, for the most part, I think it is. I think really it comes down to a basis by basis or location by location community. You have to look and see what those HOA rules are and what they require there. One other thing I want to mention too, a lot of times I have buyers that are looking to purchase a home in the area because they want to rent it out. HOAs have a rule typically in their laws that allows or disallows you to rent that home or condo. And typically what I see here in Southwest Florida, most places have a 30-day minimum. Most have around a 90-day minimum rental period. What does that mean? It's hard to rent a lot of homes around here in a VRBO setting where you're wanting to rent maybe out on a nightly or weekly basis. Your tenant has to be in there for a minimum of 30 days in most communities, and then some of them also up to 90 days. The other thing they do there too, a lot of times they'll have a rule on how often or how many tenants throughout the year you can have. So make sure you check your rules and regulations when purchasing in a community. If you're not sure what those are, give me a call, text, or email me. I can get you the rules and regulations for any community here in Southwest Florida. Our title company that I work with has access to all those as well too. So reach out to me, call, text, or email me. Thanks for watching this video on HOAs. If you have any other questions, subscribe and click on the button below and hit some comments in there as well too. Glad to help you and talk to those as well. Stick around for another quick video. I'm John C. here in sunny Southwest Florida. Have a great day.